I would move an amendment, and I believe this is a proper place to do it, that any facility that provides over 5 abortions a month shall meet the standards of a hospital in health and cleanliness.
And a second? Second. Okay, it's been moved in second. The amendment has been moved in second. Is there any questions?
Wait, Madam Chair.
Yes, sir. Madam Chair.
I'd like to ask Fred
Mr.
Stanbrook.
Chair.
We're amending an advisory committee, and so, I mean, there's an offer to amend the advisory committee. Is that?
What you doing? Amending what they can do and what they cannot do?
See, since it's an advisory committee, I would think that that kind of amendment would not work in the bill. But Fred, I'd like to ask Fred.
Attorney Stanbrook, you're recognized to explain this, why this bill is, that amendment is being offered.
The bill does open up Title 68, Chapter 1, which would incorporate what Representative Campfield intends to do. But the bill is written relative to the Perinatal Advisory Committee, and I would say it wouldn't give notice that perinatal advisory is a different subject than abortion. Perinatal advisory would be information about pregnancy and safe pregnancy, and that would be different than terminating a pregnancy. It opens up.
I would
like
tend to
code section.
disagree. I would tend to disagree.
Yes, sir.
Just now, you wait till you get recognized, sir.
But
Okay.
Well,
All right.
the question is, does it give notice? A caption has to give notice, and does this give notice about that?
Okay. You're recognized now, Representative Campfield.
I would say nothing would be much safer than putting people in a position where they're in a clean facility that is operated by doctors, where there are cleanliness standards. I think nothing would help provide to the health of, one, the mother, and two, if you're talking about the life of the unborn baby, I would think that would also possibly go in that same direction as well. And I would ask for a roll call vote on this motion.
Would you restate the motion? I see recognize Representative Odom.
Do you want me to restate my motion?
Oh,
That would be a good start.
I was just recognize.
Did you want me to restate my motion, or do you want to hear from him?
You have the floor right now.
Okay.
So you want to continue on with
If
that
you would
now?
like, I could.
Yeah, I just.
If you would like, I could. That.
You had explained the
Yes.
didn't
That any facility that performs more than 5 abortions per month has to meet the health standards of a hospital, health and cleanliness standards of a hospital.
Okay. Representative Odom, I saw your hand. Is that a second?
It was already
Yeah,
seconded.
she did. Representative Lynn. We have discussion now. Representative Odom, you're recognized.
I'm still trying to figure out. I thought this legislation dealt with the Perinatal Advisory Committee, and the sponsor of the amendment is referring to abortions, and I'm trying to figure out the connection. I guess if the sponsor of the amendment is interested in doing something along the lines as he described the amendment, it would seem to me the appropriate thing to do would be to put that in the form of a bill and introduce it. As I think our legal counsel said, one of the purposes of a caption is to define the subject that's being dealt with in the legislation. And from that standpoint, and I would caution, since we're going to have to play these games from time to time, that these bills be drawn a little tighter than what they've been drawn, because we've seen before amendments that have nothing to do with the subject matter identified in the caption being offered just to make a political point. And we have a way to do that, and that's called the introduction of legislation. This is a sunset this is legislation that deals with a sunset review, and for one to present a particular political bill and jeopardize potentially a entity in government that I think everyone wants to extend, I think is just improper. And I would move that amendment to the table.
Representative Odom I need a second, is offering an amendment to move the amendment to the table. Do we hear a second? It's been seconded by Speaker Pro Tem. Do we have further discussion? We'll call for the question. Cuts off all debate. Okay, Representative Campfield, you're recognized.
Thank you. If you read the description of the bill, the second line is very clear. It was established in 1977 to provide for the diagnosis and treatment of certain life-threatening conditions of pregnant women, their fetuses, and newborn infants. If those three conditions aren't helped by saying that we have to have some cleanliness standards, such as doctors washing their hands, operations performed by doctors, I don't know what is. The legal department has already said this fits in the description of the bill. So to me, it seems pretty cut and dry. This is part of the bill. It's allowed by the law, and therefore I would ask you to vote against the tabling motion.
Okay. All in favor of the tabling motion, say aye. All opposes? Okay, let's roll call. Okay, roll call has been called for.
Representatives Bell,
Who?
Campfield, Cassada, Cobb, Pro Tem DeBerry, Lynn, Mumpower, Odom, Richardson, Rinks, Swafford, Secretary Rowe, Vice Chair Cooper,
Aye.
Chairman Cornell. Hardaway, excuse me. Five ayes, 4 noes, 1 present not voting.
So the amendment failed.